Hi guys, in today's video I'll be solving an Amazon coding interview problem. I'll be solving this on Code Signal, which is a pretty good website for you to prepare for your coding interviews. So the question is the first non-repeating character. Instead of reading through the prompt, I will explain you what the question is. They expect you to write a function that will accept a character, accept a string, and will return you the character which does not repeat in that string. Now, for example, in this string, A is being repeated, B repeats, and D, but C doesn't. So the expected output is C. Now, the string that they will give you will have some specific properties, like it will contain only lowercase letters, no numbers, no uppercase letters, no special characters, for example, exclamation, at the rate, dollar sign, or mod sign, and won't contain white spaces. So the first solution that I could think of was that we can loop through the string. For example, first time let's take A and then loop through the string again and check whether A is present in that string, and if it is, then increase the counter. And for the time when the counter is equal to 1, just return that value. So it will return back the first character which does not repeat. So let's write the function for it. So for I in range length of string, and then counter which will be 0, and then for j in range length of string. And now if character at I is equal to character at j, C equals C plus 1, and outside the loop, if C equal to 1, return character at that index. Now if the string does not contain any character which does not repeat, you have to return underscore. So underscore, let's test it. Does not match the indentation level. Oh. So yeah, this solution works, but if you present this to your interviewer, he won't accept this. The first question that he's going to ask you is that what is the time complexity? So for the function that we have written, it is going to be O of n squared, which is not good. So he will ask you to write, can you do this in linear time? So yeah, there is another solution for this. That is, what we can do is create a dictionary that will contain characters as the key values, and the number of times they are present as the values. So in this string, A will be 3, comma B is going to be 3, comma C is going to be 1, and then D will be 2. Then, so in the first loop we can make this dictionary, and in the second loop we can check the values, like the value for which key is 1, and then simply return it. So the time complexity will be O of 2, and in coding interviews the constant is anyway dropped. So we can create a dictionary. So let's say dict, and then for I in range length of string, if str I is in keys, that is, it will just check whether that specific key already exists, and if it does exist, then we can simply just update it. So that will be equal to I plus 1. And if it does not exist, then what we can do is create that, and it will be equal to 1. So this is the first loop in which we are just creating the dictionary, and in another loop that will also go from 0 to the length of it, of that string, and then if if it is equal to 1, just return that value. Yeah, this one works. Now there is another way in which you can do it, that is by checking the index position of every string that of every character in that string. That is, if the first index and the last index is the same, it means that it occurs only once. Now in this value, the first index is going to be 0, and the last index will be 5 for A. So that is, 5 exists. 5 has a duplicate of its own, but for C, its first and last index is the same. So let's try that, because for that the time complexity will be O of n. So we don't need this. For I in range, length of string, if str dot index stri is equal to str dot r index at stri, return that value, return that character. And also the time complexity for this program is going, for this function, will be O of n, so it should be pretty good. So guys, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching.